Bueller. Bueller.
Tell me about landing that part in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, I was not there on the set to be in the movie. A very, very, very close friend of mine who was one of the producers of the movie invited me just to come over and hang around with him. And we were in the trailer.
And we're rolling.
John Hughes was just talking to him. He said, you have a really, really funny voice. Would you do a little off-camera taking the role in Ferris Bueller's class?
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House...
I said, of course, I'd love to. He said, we could only pay you $360. I said, that's fine, I'll pay you. And I went up on the stage, and he said, I'm not going to write anything. You'll have to do it all off the top of your head. And so at that time, we were having a big debate all over the country about tariffs, just as we are now. So I started to give the kids a little lecture about the tariffs, and I made it up.
Tariff Act, which anyone raised or lowered, raised tariffs.
I know the subject very well, and the classes laughed and laughed and laughed, and even the extras and lighting people and gaffers and everybody laughed. And so John Hughes said, make it longer, do it longer. And I did it again, and got a lot of applause. And Matthew Broderick said, have you ever done Broadway? And I said, no, sir, I have never acted before.
So how did it come that we saw you on screen? Because you had said that John Hughes said just a little thing of your voice,
voiceover.
Correct?
Well, because the students laughed so hard, the extras, that he wanted to capture that. When I left that day, I called my wife, and I said, I just had the best day of my life. And my wife said, not the day we were married. And I said, no, better than that even. Anyway, and so it was great. From then on, I worked quite consistently for a very long time.
So are you telling me that you improvised anyone?
Yes.
Bueller?
Anyone.
But I'm sure you had no idea that line was going to be cemented in the zeitgeist of movie history.
Never dreamed it.
Anyone? Bueller? Bueller?
Yeah, long before delivering his iconic deadpan line, Ben worked way outside of Hollywood, also using his voice, but just not as an actor.
I'm trying to understand how you go from being an economist, a trial lawyer, a speechwriter for Nixon and Ford, a teacher and a writer, to become an actor.
Well, it happened very quickly. Through a variety of avenues, I met a super, super successful, famous comedy writer, producer, Norman Lear. He said, you are the only funny conservative I've ever met. You're the only conservative I've met who could make me laugh out loud. If you ever want to come out here, I'd love to employ you.
Well, you know, we've been with you here at Entertainment Tonight for a long time, so I want to take you back to 1991 when we were interviewing you, and this is what you told us about that famous scene.
I still don't quite get why it's funny. It's a very memorable line, and when I walk around anywhere in the country, young people shout out to me, Bueller, Bueller, anyone. I still don't quite get why it's so funny, because that is the way I talk all the time.
Do you still not understand why that's so funny?
No.
You don't?
I really don't.
It's because it's so deadpan
and
serious.
But that's the way I talk all the time.
It's so unserious that...
But it was very serious.
And we've all had that teacher.
But I was serious at the time, and I've been that teacher, but I taught at American University in Washington, D.C., which is...
Did you take roll like that?
No, the class was way too big to take roll. It was the most successful class they ever had there. I just love Hollywood. I mean, I love it, love it, love it.
It's in constant motion, shifted by molten forces below.
You were actually cast in recurring roles in two of my favorite shows, The Wonder Years and Charles in Charge.
God. The Wonder Years is such a great show.
What do you remember about being cast in those two?
Well, The Wonder Years was the only show I know of in the history of Hollywood that made me laugh and cry in almost every episode.
Mr. Willard, I have an appointment with you?
Yes.
And Charles in Charge was produced, created by my best friend I've ever had in my life, a man named Al Burton, who was just the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet in your life.
I'm putting
$5,000 of my money on the line.
I had my own show, Win Ben Stein's Money. That was perfectly suited to me because it was a game show which the host had to play against the contestants, and the questions are really, really hard. And I did that for almost 1,000 episodes.
Yeah.
You're the only sane contestant today.
E.T. was definitely on the set of Win Ben Stein's
Oh,
Money.
yeah.
Who came up with the idea? Was that your brainchild?
No, that was Al Burton's.
It was Al's brainchild.
They wanted somebody who could play against the contestants. There's never been one before where the host had to play against the contestants. I mean, can you imagine the host of Jeopardy having to not just read the questions, but answer them himself?
Well, now, yes, because he's very smart. Ken Jennings is very
Right.
smart.
I agree. I'd like to see him play against me.
I would like to see that, too. Are you challenging Ken Jennings right now?
No. He's, I'm sure, much better than I am.
Let's turn to the Minneapolis to my St. Paul, Jimmy Kimmel, and find out who these people are.
You had a TV sidekick. It was this little up-and-coming comedian at the time. His name was Jimmy Kimmel.
He was a disc jockey.
My name is Jimmy Kimmel, Kimmel.
E.T. visited your set back in 1997, and listen to what you said about Jimmy Kimmel way back then. Listen to this.
I think he was the first one that they brought in. We all just said, forget it. There's no point in looking anywhere else. He is the single funniest person I've ever met, and he's a genius at ad lib and just makes me laugh my head off every single day. I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to read the questions. He's made me laugh so hard. So he's a genius at comedy. I mean, he will someday be where Jay Leno is now.
How about that?
I knew that the first time I saw him, we auditioned him. I think I said, he's the next Johnny Carson. And I think he's a really, really, really funny, great guy.
You literally out of your mouth said he's going to be where Jay Leno is right now, and he is exactly there.
I think he's ahead of Jay Leno. I mean, Jay Leno's a super talented guy, but Jimmy is genius. A quick, just an amazing genius. And he's a nice guy. I mean,
you guys are on the opposite ends of the political spectrum
Very.
in a lot of ways.
Opposite isn't even far enough to describe it, but he's a very impressive, wonderful guy, and I love him a lot.
I love that too, and I love that you saw that all the way back then.
Oh, immediately. Although I don't think anyone else saw it as much as I did, but I remember saying to myself, this guy is really hot. And I remember saying to the producers of my show, we should immediately start looking for a replacement because he will be too big to be a co-host of Ben Stein.
Have you ever gotten the chance to say to him, and like since then, say, I saw this in you, and since he's had his platform, yes.
Sure, of course. Of course, I've said it to him many times, and he doesn't deny it. But and I'm happy. And I'm happy that he's as successful as he is. I disagree with him politically, but God bless him. That's the glory of America.
Isn't it though?
Ladies and gentlemen.
You went on to have a bunch of cameos in a lot of other big films that came out, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That is the movie of movies. That movie, I think, is as good as any drama of any kind that's ever been made for stage or for movies.
Soap Dish, which is a cult classic.
That was a great movie.
Yes, it is. My Girl 2, The Mask, Ghostbusters.
Incredibly good.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be an American movie in my lifetime, I'm quite old already, that's going to be up to the level of The Mask or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'm sorry to announce that we're canceling Flight 909 due to severe weather in Chicago.
Besides Ferris Bueller's Day Off, what do you think you are most recognized for? Which other movies? So you can't say the TV show.
No, movies, say The Mask.
Go as yourself and as the mask.
But commercials, I mean, I was a huge player in commercials for a long time.
Yeah.
And people still remember me for my commercials. I mean, there was the one for the eye drops, Clear Eyes. I think I did that for 15 years.
Wow.
And I really loved it. Although they had one time when they made me fall into a barrel of cold water. They'd throw a ball at a target, and if they hit the target, I'd be dropped into a barrel of cold water. I didn't like it at all. And I remember calling my agent and saying, I'm not going to do this. And she said, well, you're getting paid X. I said, I'm going to do it.
Bueller. Bueller.
Well, nearly 40 years after that iconic line kicked off the author, college professor, and economist's Hollywood career, the now 80-year-old is still open to acting. Ben spends most of his time now hosting the podcast The World According to Ben Stein and being husband to wife of nearly 55 years, Alexandra. Meanwhile, Ferris and his bestie, Cameron, are getting back together.
Matthew Broderick and Alan Ruck are going to reunite on screen for a
Great.
film coming up.
Great.
Yeah, it's called The Best Is Yet to Come. So what do you remember about the bond that those two shared? Because the chemistry between them.
Yeah, it was a very strong bond. And I don't really know Alan Ruck very well, but I do know Matthew. And he's a very wonderful guy and an incredible actor.
Yep.
Happy to play a janitor cleaning out a dirty toilet bowl, anything. And I just want to be on the set with the other guys.
Did you ever have to actually audition for a role? No.
I'm not sure I ever did.
Oh my God. Do you know how rare that is
It's very rare.
in Hollywood?
Very rare.
For someone to say that?
I'm incredibly lucky. I think I'm the luckiest man in the world, mostly because I have such a wonderful wife.